Welcome to Fontaine Fifth Wheel Rebuild Procedures for No Slack 2 fifth wheels. This program covers 6000, 7000, C7000, and NT Series products. In most cases, all you need is a simple repair kit, easily available from Fontaine. Part number kit RPR 6000L or R, depending on whether it is a left or right-hand release. No special tools are required for the actual rebuild, but the Kingpin test tool available from Fontaine makes the job easier. Before you begin, remove the top plate, degrease the underside, and place it in a work stand or on a steady work surface. Wear protective equipment and remember to exercise extreme caution. Make sure the lock is in the closed position with the handle retracted to remove spring tension. First, detach the secondary lock spring and the bumper spring. Then remove the secondary lock spring. Remove the pull handle cotter pin and washer. Now remove the pull handle and inspect it to make sure it is straight. Unfasten the secondary lock bolt. Then remove the secondary lock from the operating handle. Now remove the bumper bolt. Then remove the bumper and bumper spring from the operating handle. Remove the hairpin cotter. Detach the operating handle at the pivot point. And remember to keep all fasteners organized for easy reassembly. Remove the operating handle and check it for straightness. Next, remove the timer and the timer spring. Now you can remove the jaw and wedge. This completes disassembly. Now we will turn our attention to the assembly procedure. But first, make sure that you have the correct genuine Fontaine rebuild kit for the job. Before reassembly, thoroughly clean the area that houses the jaw and wedge. Also check the wedge stop rod and nut for any damage. And inspect all of the parts that will be reused for excessive wear or damage, including the pull handle, secondary lock, operating handle, bumper, and timer, and replace if necessary. Now let's begin the assembly process. First, apply a moderate amount of grease to the sides and serrated edges of the new jaw and wedge. Fontaine suggests the use of a moly-based lubricant, such as Mobile Grease XHP 320 and 321 or equivalent. Insert the jaw and wedge into place. Attach the timer spring and lubricate the timer. Then attach the opposite end of the timer spring to the housing and install the timer. The timer should move freely and engage the stop on the housing. Apply grease to the wedge stud, the top of the timer, and the pivot surfaces on both the housing and the operating handle. Note proper orientation and insert the operating handle. The lock will not function if this is installed incorrectly. Make sure that the spacer bushing goes through the operating handle and pivot mount. Do not over-tighten, and do not use an impact wrench for this procedure. Replace the hairpin cotter. Hook one end of the bumper spring onto the bumper. Apply grease to the bumper where it contacts the operating handle, and slide it into place. Insert the new bushing and bolt from the bottom and attach the washer and nut from the top. Do not over-tighten and do not use an impact wrench. Make sure that the bumper moves freely. Lightly grease the secondary lock pivot points. Attach the secondary lock under the operating handle. Make sure that you use all of the new parts included in the Fontaine repair kit. Do not over-tighten, and do not use an impact wrench for this procedure. Install the pull handle and secure it with a new cotter pin. Attach the secondary lock spring and bumper spring. Make sure that you do not attach any springs to the air cylinder bolt holes. Now thoroughly grease both bearing pockets. Clean out the grease holes if necessary to make sure that grease flows through all of the grease fittings. Use a brush to spread the grease in both bearing pockets. Test for smooth operation by pulling on the handle and releasing before it catches several times. With the top plate now fully assembled, it is time to adjust the knockout rod. First, trip the lock closed by inserting the Fontaine Kingpin test tool into the throat of the fifth wheel. Turn the wedge stop rod clockwise to tighten or counterclockwise to loosen until there is a 1/4 inch free play. Free play should be 1/4 inch with the lock closed on a 2-inch kingpin. You have now completed the Fontaine rebuild procedure, and your fifth wheel is ready to give you years of reliable performance. Remember to follow the recommended 90-day, 30,000-mile preventive maintenance schedule for maximum product life. Thank you for running with Fontaine.